Special good night to all our viewers here on Caribbean American News Network. Special good night to you. Um, it is 7:18 uh, p.m. Most of you are inside. I am getting a good feel of St. Lucia, and that feel is that most of you go to bed early, very early, and so again, I want to greet everyone. Well, want to welcome you to the platform. I see Joycelyn Henry is on our platform. Greetings to you. Greetings to you, friends. If you bear with me, I'm just trying to figure out the comments at this time. But please share as you join our platform. Greetings, greetings, greetings to all. It is good to be here with you tonight on uh, Caribbean American News Network. We have not really sat down to have a proper live, so I'm going to invite you to share the live as you come in to the platform. Again, greetings to all, greetings to everyone over here on Caribbean American News Network. It is a pleasure to have you. All right? It is a pleasure to have you. We are operating on one of our portable system. We are still struggling with our internet, struggling to get the quality that we would like to bring to you night after night on our platform. But we're here. We're here, and we are going to be having discussions as to items in the news. But we are live. We are still underground in St. Lucia. I would say to you that there are times we might lose our feed, but we are going to be here. We're going to be here with you. Let me just bear with me. Let me go into my settings on Caribbean American News Network so we can ensure that you are having the best quality, the best experience over on our our platform. All right, so just bear with me. I'm right here with you. Um, let's try to give you the best experience on the platform. On the platform. Okay, so we are live both on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the experience here. Live, live, live. We are live. Let me just, okay, good. So we get back over to our Facebook page. Please share as you come in. I'm hoping that I would start receiving the messages from both our Facebook and our YouTube at the same time because I would not be able to monitor the platform as I really want to. And there are folks who are looking for us and they're not sure that we're on. They're not getting their notifications. And it has been happening lately with Facebook. But let us have a conversation, folks, as we share the live, as you share the live to your favorite people. Share it to groups, different groups. Oh, I have the opportunity here to get it up. Let me just see how I can do that quickly so that our folks can get okay. All right. After this, we'll have no distraction. It's going to be smooth sailing going forward. I'm hoping. It's raining here in St. Lucia. Some parts of St. Lucia are experiencing some serious weather pattern. Ay, ay, ay. So, if you receive notification more than once from me, please don't worry about it. Yes. Good. All right. So, a lot has been happening in the news today. I was at a fundraiser, not a fundraiser, sorry. I was at a health fair with the Denver Community Credit Union and the Seventh Day Adventist Church, and they were doing health checks. Uh, the rain started falling, and what we did is that we closed ourselves into the church, not realizing that the water levels was rising on both ends of Denry. And when I say both ends, we have the area from the Daito area there that was um, flooded. And also we have down, when you're heading down to the cemetery area, but you go back street, then there also they were experiencing some issues there with flooding. What I discovered is that the water, um, the water don't stay as long as it used to in the area there. It goes down um, quickly, and that is an improvement. I can say the way I knew it is that the water would have stayed there for a period of time before it can get out, and so much more need to be done in Denver when it comes to flood mitigation, when it comes to protecting families and protecting their assets. Very important that we pay attention to uh, these climate problems that we're experiencing um, in the world. And we know that the Caribbean is not exempt from such uh, global problems. The, uh, the change in our environment. And for some Christians who say, well, it's not global warming and blah, 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 it's the coming of Christ. I will say to you, the coming of Christ will usher in global warming. The, the coming of Christ would usher in disasters, flooding, pestilences, earthquake, fires, and a lot of natural disasters. The climate has been changing from the time man sinned in the Garden of Eden. Yes, my friends, we started decaying, the environment started changing, and all these hurricanes and storms and volcanic activities came on the scene. And so it is, from a biblical perspective, yes, we will experience disasters like we've never seen before. And so, um, as much as we prepare person for heaven, we got to also prepare persons to live down here on this side of life, because until Christ come, this is going to be our home. Um, and so we got to, as leaders in our society, we got to be able to continue to occupy uh, on earth until he comes, which means that we will have to build drains, we'll have to build canals, we'll have to put in um, pumps, uh, large pumps, in order to get water out of certain areas. We got to change the design of our homes, how we build our homes. We got to look at that also. You might have to be adding more windows to your homes. The place will get much hotter. It will get extremely hot. This the world, and so we got to design. We got to build with that in mind. And so we need innovation. We need vision. We need persons with the boldness to take on these challenges without being afraid of making a mistake, without being afraid of challenging our water company, without being afraid of challenging our electricity company. Because when we speak about climate change and we speak about these global challenges, we must look at electricity, the cost of electricity, the cost to power our homes. We are not challenging that enough. We are not pushing enough as a government to help homeowners to install, whether it's solar panels, to power their homes, whether it's the harvesting of rain water, the preserving of our rainforests, and the deforestation issues that we have been experiencing. So there's a lot that that is required of leaders in this century, and I do not see that type of leadership as yet. We all these challenges are left unmet. I was at the cemetery at the funeral service on Saturday, and what I saw was persons still at the cemetery mixing cement with their hands. The world is moving faster, and I believe we can lessen the amount of time that our workers at the cemetery and even families who are bereaved spend there. A family should be able to come in, have a short ceremony, put their loved one to rest, and the caretaker of the cemetery should be able to just press a button and get concrete mixed and thrown on the grave, so that families can get out to spend more time in what we would say the grieving process, where you have a lot of people coming together to have a drink, eat at an event, you, most social gathering, which helps to free their minds most of the times. It is just not about eating; it's about you showing that type of support. So there's so much development that we are behind on. I met a senior citizen today at the age of 89, and she made a statement that had me thinking, and it confirmed to me that my idea for development in this community, it is something that is needed. It is something that is real. It's a demand. Our senior citizens, our senior citizens, when they get to a certain age, whether they have diabetes, high blood pressure, they had a stroke, whatever it is, the mobility have changed. They can't really move around, whether it's a knee replacement, arthritis, rheumatism, something in the joint. What we do is that we leave them, and even mental illness, we leave them in their homes to watch, the four walls and the ceiling. And that's where we leave them while we ourselves go out and enjoy ourselves, come back just to give them their medication or their food, or we leave water and food in the house for them, and we go and entertain ourselves while they are inside all day. And I strongly believe that leadership going forward in this country, we need to consider senior citizen centers, recreational centers for senior citizens in most communities. We must consider them. It is time for us to lead. It is time for us to represent the people in the various communities here in St. Lucia. But we must start using taxpayers' money to effect people. Yes, I said it. We must use taxpayers' money to help with the various challenges and needs of these communities. What we see is more money going into tourism. Yes, it is needed there. More money going into consultant fees and legal fees and family and friends and all these stuff. And the citizens of the country are not are not, you know, are not benefiting from their tax-paying dollars. That must change. So what I'm saying is that you have politicians coming in, and by the way, a majority of them are ungodly, and that's the truth. Majority of them do not fear God. They do not care about God. And I don't care whether they're Seventh-day Adventists, Catholic, Baptists, whatever they are. When they go into these positions to represent the people, they fail the people most of the times. Why? Because they're busy running behind women. They're busy building homes, extra homes, buying extra vehicles, trying to enrich themselves before the 5 years is upon them. So there's a rush for them to develop themselves. So what will happen is that they will throw a little project out there, a little canal, a little drain, um, a little paint. And you, the people, the citizens of the country, you are still behind. You are still walking on the streets. When I say walk on the streets, there is no sidewalks in some of these communities. Elderly has got to be jumping and flying on walls and standing in canals in order to escape from vehicle. And these are the issues, friends. And I'm speaking to you in humility tonight. These are the issues that I have seen in this community, especially Denry, and even traveling around St. Lucia. The country is underdeveloped. People are not being impacted by most of these projects. Bureaucracy takes majority of taxpayers' money. Bureaucracy, a friend of a friend. Therefore, in this country, the rich will continue to get rich, and the poor will continue to get poorer. And your politicians, your favorite politicians, they don't care. If you look at them carefully, some of them are burning time. When I walk around, I ask even SLP supporters, what is going on in your community? What have your rep done in your community? Nothing. They can't point finger on anything. Difficult. And so some politicians are like lame ducks. They're just sitting waiting for crumbs. We saw View Fort, the underdevelopment in View Fort, where again the people of View Fort have not benefited from representation, but they continue to vote. Why? Because there's this psychological game that is played on the poor people who are not too educated. There is this mind game, this war game that is played on them. So during election, closer to election, you start seeing your representatives. They start doing small projects. They start giving you a little $500, a little step program, with the hope that you will forget all your suffering for the past 5 years. And you, St. Lucians, fall for that trap over and over again for temporary gain. You give your vote. You take whatever chicken, whatever rum, whatever sex, whatever they gave you. Yes, even sex too is given. Some of them pretend that they love you, but really they're trying to get your vote. So they take you out, give you some drinks, take you to a hotel, whatever it is, make you feel like they're in love with you, but really it's just to abuse you. Sex and a vote. That is the other serious thing. So I am deeply concerned, and tonight my spirit is calm, because I've seen the plights of the people, and I've also seen the ignorance of some of the people. And the ignorance of some of the people, our politicians again, they are playing on that ignorance. Persons who are deeply involved in the political warfare, but yet they benefit not. They're still at home, still struggling, still walking on dirt roads, no sidewalks, still paying high price for electricity, being abused by electricity company, water company, no water sometimes, cable companies ripping them off, cell phone companies abusing the people. The people pay for a certain amount of internet and they do not get that service for the month. Nothing for them. Nothing goes on. Nobody's petitioning on their behalf. Instead, you have a government who is taking away license from people, who is fighting radio stations. And you think that is cool. Instead of fighting these utility companies on your behalf, they are fighting the citizens of this country. They are dragging you in court. They are threatening you with lawsuits because you are bold, you are speaking up. I want to say one thing about speaking up. When you speak up as a citizen, you must be sure of what you are saying. When you are speaking up in this country against any organization or political parties, please do not spread rumors. Be sure of what you say. Leave the mépris and the nastiness aside. For me, I cannot engage in it and will not engage in attacking anyone's character. If that is what I have to do to represent anyone, it's a no-no for me. Because my faith will see me through. My faith must see me through. And until, and if I'm given the opportunity to make any difference in any society, from any level, my faith must see me through. So I cannot in good conscience attack individuals, besmirch them. And I say, well, they did it to me, so, you know, I got to do worse to them. What I say to you is that it distracts us from the social transformation and development that you need in your society. It is a distraction when you have to be in court fighting for your cause instead of fighting for the people. And I am very, we must stay the course. We must be true and faithful to the trust that people would have placed in us. Now, we're having some issues there with our internet. We're having some internet issues there. But you got to be firm. Be firm. We will wait for the internet to stabilize itself. And that's what I'm saying to you. These are what we need our politicians to be fighting for. The slow internet, bad service. That's where the fight should be. But let me say something, folks, while I'm here. And most likely it's going to come back. The internet will stabilize itself. Father, touch this internet tonight. Have that it be performed like it have never performed before. In Jesus' name. So our faith must see us through, folks. And I'm really concerned. Now, let me just make this statement and make it boldly and openly. That one, I will not support the idea of any one of us going after any person with disability, whether it's a mental disability or whatever disability it is. We got to draw a line. We must draw a line. So I just want to say this forcefully, openly, that I will not support the idea of any one of us attacking anyone's children. There must be a limit. There must be borders and boundaries that are set. We must remain on the issues that affect our people in the society. We should never allow what we are doing to be about us. It must always be about the people. If it is about the people, friends, we would be very careful and mindful in what we say on those social media platforms. And for those of you with children, those of you who have not had children as yet, you are still thinking of having children, you got to be extremely careful too, because a lot of things can go wrong in birth. And a lot of things can go wrong after birth, because a lot of children are born, and as they grow, they develop, they start experiencing mental challenges. Is it their fault? Is it the parents' fault? No. So I am saying that we should draw that line, and we should say to ourselves, let us keep this discussion as clean as we can. Let us be as civilized as we can. There is a country to rescue. We must set deep foundations in this country for our generation to come. There is a generation that we got to work for. As adults, we've got to refocus. We've got to refocus on developments that are needed in our society. Again, I will not support any attack or any attempt to attack anyone's children or child. Neither should you. And I know the temptation is there for you to say, well, they used to do it to us, so we'll attack everything. Their wives, their children, their dog, their cats. No, we can't. No, we can't. We should not. Because disability is real. That's why we should not go personal. We should fight the issues as hard as we can. Fight for the youths. Fight for senior citizens. Fight for every human being, the disabled, the mentally challenged. Fight for them. Fight for them. One group of people that we leave out in all of our discussions, and you scarcely hear political parties speaking about the zombies on the road, the mentally challenged on the road. What can we do for them? Yes, you will say, well, there's LATAP, there's the Mental Wellness Center. But apart from them being at the mental health center, and apart from them being on the side of the roads at night or sleeping in abandoned homes, what have we put in place in the history of St. Lucia for those persons in each of those communities? And by the way, many of them are being raped, abandoned. Yes, even the zombies are being abused sexually by men who are considered to be decent men in society. Oh, the truth must be told. There's one of those persons that we consider to be a zombie. She said during the day, la journée, zombie, les swear sweetheart. And that's real. That's true. We had one person here in the person name of Nola. She was on the street, challenged, and one day morning we found her dead here in Denry. Found her dead, was murdered. We fail them too. We don't protect them. Some of us get outraged when people talk about, you know, the mentally challenged. We get outraged, but is it real? Do we get outraged enough to the point where we want to do something? We want something to be done on their behalf. That's the question. So we got to change the discussion. We got to take it off from correct person's character. And we got to hit on the policies of the individual. We are distracting ourselves from nation building. My friends, it's a difficult thing. And for many who maybe have trained themselves to love these type of fights, yeah, there are persons who just enjoy these kind of things. They enjoy. You stand by the road and you hear somebody cursing somebody, and you stand there, and in your mind, you're like, give them, tell them, give them, tell them, give them, tell them. You don't want it to stop. If you feel that way, then I believe it is time for you to start reflecting on your humanity. Reflecting on, your reasoning. Your desire should be to stop the maypui, stop the name calling, stop the divisive nastiness. And oh yes, the Labour Party have done a great deal of maypui and personal attacks. We see it every day against Mr. Chastney. We saw it every day. But please, you got to look at how he deals with those challenges. And if you love your leader enough, just focus on how he deals with all these aggravations. Yesterday we had Dr. Oh boy, look, I forgot his name. I have it written down. Who did some conflict resolution courses around St. Lucia. Over 400 persons graduated on Saturday. And we saw persons from Bodiley, from the schools, from the different community around St. Lucia. Young men going through that course to stop and think. Stop, think. Before you act, you stop and you think. And even in that stop and think program graduation, I was coming out to take a breather from the tent, and a lady who I knew very well in Denver came charging at me. She said, "You come." In the same conflict resolution program that she's sitting, she is trying to create conflict with me. That one woman. to the point where I slipped and I called her a pig. Because I'm saying you can't be human being to be talking to another human being like that. You gotta be something else. And it dawned on me. Somebody came to me and they said, I understand what just happened. The problem with you is that you're naive and you're not expecting people to come across a certain way because you have left here a very long time. But people speak to you anyhow. They will say, because they know you. And she said to me, oh, you have not changed from since you were a little boy. And I'm like, wow. Was that necessary? What was that all about? Oh, don't you I hear as if you're running. Stay out of the thing. There you go preach. Stay out of. And I'm like, but I don't understand what you're saying to me. Explain what you're saying. So she said, oh, you're not supposed to be. I said, okay, so is that your opinion? Is that biblical? What are you saying to me? Are you trying to advise me? Then she said, this is a Christian who sang in church the very morning, not knowing how to speak to another human being. That has nothing with her. Now remember this, I have nothing with her. I have not said a word to her. We have never had a bad encounter. But she's under a tent where persons from Bodily and the schools, the children are graduating from, and she is looking for a war. So it dawned on me that there are a lot more like that in our society. People feel they can talk to you how they want. Because maybe they knew you as a little boy, so they see you now, after all these years, and they go back to that same way that they would communicate with you as a Tiwai. She come here. Then when she finished abusing me, she said, go your way. So I said, that is rude, lady. That is rude. You don't talk to people like that. She said, hey, and that's when I said to her, ma'am, you're acting like a pig. Now I said that so that I can jerk her mind into action. Why is he saying that to me? Therefore, she's going to go home. It has psychological effect, by the way. She's going to go home and reflect on, wait a minute, how did I approach him? How did I approach him? How did I get there? How did he get to the point of calling me a pig? You know what I'm saying? And it helps her to reason for herself, and understand that a lot of people in life lose their life, get killed, simply because of this type of approach. People don't know how to talk to people. People shout at people, scream at people, and they believe that's how you communicate. So I'm just saying that there's a lot of work that needs to be done in these communities when it comes to, and even church people need to be retrained, because I'll tell you, there are a lot of church people who don't know how to talk to people. And that's true. Pastors, elders, church members, they believe that they can speak to you because you're a member of their church. They can speak to you how they want, when they want, how they please. They can get into your business when they want. They can tell you how to run your life. A lot of people in society, and it causes conflict. And it gets you out of character sometimes. But that situation yesterday, it was an eye-opener for me. And then I realized that I am not in the United States. And there are still persons here. There are still persons here who, still not there when it comes to, smoothing off those rough edges in communicating, you know, communicating when they're communicating with others. And I realize that too, um, people are just like that. They scream down at you first and then they realize, oops, I should not have done that. And if you stay long enough talking to them, they calm down. They calm down, they settle in. And but that need to stop, because there are some people walking around who are on edge. Some of them are demon possessed. Some of them don't care what happened, whether they go to jail or not. They really don't care. And you come across somebody like that who is at the end, the cup is full and running over. That person will burst. That person can hit you. That person can do so much damage because you have aggravated them. They're already angry. And then you're coming in now to give them the last punch. That person can react really bad. And I'm saying to you, friends, it is easy for someone to become a murderer. It's just a split second, because you're not stopped. You will not stop. You will not have time to stop. You will not have time to think. And it's very serious, friends. It's very serious. If you interview a lot of persons, some of those persons in jail, whether it's here in St. Lucia or in any other country or United States, they will say to you, I snapped. It always starts with a conversation. It always starts with something that was not really the other person's business. Because you know how you are, we are. We like to tell people how to live their lives, how to, who to talk to, how to walk, how to dress. We always want to get into person's personal space. So you'll always hear those persons in jail saying to you, man, I snapped if I knew. I was at my last. I was at the last nerve, and man, I just snapped. And I hit that person with that force and killed that person. So I'm saying to us, to help our generation, we got to start with ourselves. We got to stop and think, because we can back up the wrong tree. And what we do when we go up the wrong tree, we turn back and blame the person. And we say, oh, me shaky femo fesa. Madam Saki femo fesa. So even in our political discussion, it can be clean. Don't mind people tell you it's not clean. It can be clean, but the clean conversations start with you and I. It must be cleaned up. Because I'll tell you, talking about somebody's handicapped child or mentally challenged child is not a good thing. That child is innocent. Talking about somebody's daughter, it is not a good thing. Talking about a disabled person, it is not a good thing. But I will say to you that you must never shy away from standing on your belief. You must never shy away from challenging ideas and from challenging your politicians on things they have said and things they have done. The democracy demands that people stand up and speak up. But it can be done in a better way than what I'm seeing. It must be done. Because the next breed of politicians that we will develop in St. Lucia, they would start from where you have left off. They're going to start from where you have left off. And by the way, you're going to have a challenge in getting young persons to serve in your country, because they're afraid that you will bring up their past life. They will be afraid that you will bring their mother in, their sick child in. They will be afraid because you have set that foundation. It is not too late for us to turn back. It is not too late for us to turn back. I'm going to read comments later on, but it's not too late. It's not too late. So let's talk about some issues. So the police commissioner, she came down to Dennery together with the president of the St. Lucia mission and all the team, Dr. Triton, his name is? Yes. And they had the graduation and everything else. What I, the Minister of Education was not there. He was represented by someone. There are a lot of persons who should have been at that event, but were not there. And it is sad because it is a good program where you are speaking to those persons who are most vulnerable, those who those young persons who are out there. We're trying to get the guns out of the hands of persons. We're trying to get people to think and to reason before they act. That would have been that was a beautiful opportunity for some of these politicians to have been there. Yes, you had some of them. You had you didn't have much politicians there. The police commissioner, somebody from Bodiley, Mr. Sipal from the Ministry of Education. Who else did we have there as politicians? Because I came at a certain time. I did not see a lot of politicians. Yes. You know, I did not see a lot of politicians there. It was a beautiful opportunity for these politicians, Kenny Anthony and all those guys, to have been there with Dr. Triton. And these young people who, and adults who came, and grown-ups who came for graduation. And that's to show you where our, Dr. King was there. Dr. King was there, yes. Dr. King was there, and he spoke. He gave his experience of him losing his son and everything else. I mean, are we serious about, you know, trying to help our generation? Are we? The other thing, brethren, I looked at the Dennery Boys School. I'm not sure, and we have a problem with maintenance in the country, man. Maintenance is a problem of government buildings and assets. Assets that are in the care of government are not being maintained. Nothing really is being maintained in this country. Not even this the what you call it, the pedestrian crossing. Vehicles, government vehicles, not being maintained. There are instances when you see at some point a whole set of government vehicles being auctioned. Why? Because they're not being maintained. Some just need a tire. Some just need a whatever it is, a gasket or something. But just parked on a side, they're just being abused, and then just put on a parking lot so that wheat can grow on them, and then they're auctioned off. I look at the Dennery Boys School that I attended in my young days. I went to the funeral service, look across, and I saw the school that I attended. The louvers are falling out. All the windows are falling out. I went into the school. There are classrooms where the lights are flickering. It's not coming on. There are some without lights. The schools need maintenance. It needs paint. I do not understand what is happening to the asset of the state in this country. Buildings are not being maintained. We talk about the St. Jude, the stadium that the St. Jude Hospital is in. That stadium should never have been in that state, whether there's a hospital or not. It should have been maintained. It is being rusted. Things are falling off. It seems to me that these governments do not appreciate gifts or loans that have been given to them. The fisheries. But let's go back to the schools. Why are our schools not being maintained? Who is responsible for the maintenance of these schools? Once there's a screw missing, if you replace the screw, you will save the entire window. Who supervises the maintenance of schools or government assets in this country? Airport ceilings are falling down. Who walks around inspecting these buildings for hazardous stuff? Who inspect these government assets? I could not believe what I saw with the Denry Boys School, friends. This is nobody telling me, I am on the ground. I am seeing for myself. So Anson can come and he can jump and scream and go on Eastern Parkway and do all his stuff. Anson is not here to experience what I'm experiencing. But let's get off from that. I'm not going to talk about that. I went over to the multipurpose center in Denry. Brethren, it's a crying shame. No galvanized, rusted, holes, windows are broken. The library is shut down. The building cannot be used except to store things. That is another state asset, whether it's local government. The town council. Our roads are not being maintained. From the time I got here, I'm driving on this special road there by the Church of God in Denry, the little road there. I don't know what they call it. Brethren, there is two. You get away from 1, 2, you jump into a 2. It's like it's a 2. I don't know what to say. Why are we not maintaining what we have? We are allowing it to run down. When all we have to do, once you spot a hole, you go and you throw some stuff in it and you cover it up. Problem solved for a period of time. You come back, you inspect, there's another one, you keep doing that. It's called road maintenance. Why are we paying these government workers? That's my question too. Why are we paying persons for the maintenance of our schools, and our schools are falling apart? And my question again would be, who is responsible for the maintenance of our schools? Brethren, the school windows are falling out. Falling out the windows. And if you give them to patch a hole, 5 of them comes to patch that one hole. One is holding the sign, one holding something in the hand, another one stand up on the phone, and another one just drinking Bounty. But I'm just saying, that's the famous thing now. I see young men, I spoke to one last night, young men just drinking their lives away. It's very bad. Young men just drinking and talking foolishness. The more they drink, is the more foolishness they talk. Brethren, what is happening to our nation? And instead, what we're doing, we are fighting each other. We are cussing each other. We are giving each other maple, and we are losing our assets. We are losing our young people. We are losing even our men. All these men do now is drink rum. Forgive me, men, I gotta beat some of you. All I'm saying is you guys just drinking or drinking. You work hard during the day and you're drinking, drink. Your face look as hard as rock. I see young men that I've gone to school with. These fellas are looking more older than me, 10 times older. Young Dima, oh, America, give fair fija, usa. No, no, no. No. No, that has nothing to do with America. That has absolutely nothing to do with America. Just drinking their life away. And some of them, they're just drinking the bounty like juice. Then they end up sleeping by Teresa. When they're sober, they sleep by Donna. When they drink again, they go by another one. And guess what? Ain't nothing to see. But let's go back to school maintenance, building maintenance. We have a problem. We build and we leave. You see all the fight to build St. Jude Hospital? If there is not a proper maintenance plan, you are going to have a problem again with St. Jude and any other assets that you're erecting right now. Imagine police stations in Viewford have to be closed because of maintenance issues. I need somebody to correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't think I'm wrong. Huh? I don't think I am wrong. If you think I'm wrong, you tell me. But how many times have you heard that buildings got to be shut down, abandoned because of mold? And the same nonsense we're doing over and over. Shut the building down for mold, clean it with Clorox, come back, mold again. We are not even tackling the problem. What is causing the mold? And by the way, you're going to have more mold because of the hot and cold. The sun is getting hotter. Then the more the sun gets hot, they turn up the AC. They turn up the AC starts sweating, and bam, mold in your place. And there is something, I'm not sure, I got to ask a technician, AC technician, what kind of vent are they using here in St. Lucia? Because New York State have passed some laws when it comes to vent, where those vents must be padded on the inside. The metal pan that runs, like the docks, you must have padding in them. So I'm not even sure if that's a requirement here in the island. And maybe that's why, too, we are having a lot of these mold issues when it comes to AC and air circulation. I'm not sure if they have also air vac system to clean the air ever so often. Once the air gets a certain way, a machine comes on, a unit comes on, and it sucks out bad air, pulls in fresh air. I don't even know if our buildings are designed like that. But same problem, nobody is saying, okay, we're building our buildings, let's build so that we can avoid mold. Same old, same old. We clean St. Jude, the old St. Jude, we clean all the mold that was there, and we were to scrape the walls and put paint and everything else. But the question is, are we fixing the cause of those mold? If you scrape the wall and you put chemical on the wall, the possibility is there that the mold will come back at some point. It means that there's a problem in the building. And it must be addressed, it must be studied carefully. The St. Jude Hospital must not be rushed just so that you can say we finished the hospital. Because you can say, coming to elections, that I finished the hospital, and then another government got to come in and say to the folks at St. Jude, we will have to temporarily remove you because we have a problem. with air circulation. That possibility can be, that could be a problem too. That's why we need governments to be effective and efficient in what they do with taxpayers' money. And think about all the wastage that we've had. Just because we're not maintaining anything that we have, whether it's vehicles. I've heard the Prime Minister saying we have given vehicles, every year we have given vehicles. But then if you go to the police parking lot, I am sure, or public works, or any one of those departments, that you will see vehicles upon vehicles upon vehicles that are just sitting there because of some minor issues that can be fixed and put back into service. Yes, you will say, well, we prefer new vehicles. And two, if we hold the drivers of these vehicles responsible, I say responsible, because I'm sure there's a driver's logbook where the drivers of government vehicles, government asset, got to sign in and sign out of those vehicles. And there must be a vehicle report that is generated at the end of the use. So before you drive out any government vehicle, whether you're police or you work with sanitation or city council anywhere, you sign off, you do a check. Tires are okay, braking is okay, the lights are okay, there is a dent, there is a broken glass, you check all those things off. So the maintenance manager now, coming behind you, take that log and realize that there's a broken glass. He quickly fixed that broken glass, change the tire that have lost thread. Are we having vehicles report generated in our governments so that we can keep those vehicles running, so you can get your money's worth out of those vehicles? Is that happening? Don't tell me that you just go take a key off the shelf, jump in a vehicle, turn the key, and just drive off. You don't check the gas. There's nobody to check the oil. There's nobody to check the water levels in the vehicle, the battery, whether the battery needs replacing. You just jump in and you turn the key and you drive off. And you blow the engine. So what I would have done is to ensure that our drivers of these vehicles care for those vehicles. They must be held accountable. You hit the vehicle on a rock, you hit it on somebody, you have to report it. You have to report it. Don't just park the vehicle there. So I really don't understand, and I'm praying that somebody can educate me on the process of maintenance in government. And maybe there need to be a cleanup in government. We need to bring in some younger people with the drive and the energy and retire some of these persons who are tired and they're just burning time. They just come to work and they log in because it's government money. So they log in. They got to get paid. So they log in. They don't care about anything. So we got to also review our government workers. Are they really working? Are they really giving the citizens the service that they need for the monies that they're getting? And I heard that there's some just clock in. They just sign and go back home. They're gone. There's some who are home on vacation for how many years? And who suffers? Yes, the poor. And then we say, no, we have to scrunt for money to build homes for them. We got to scrunt for money to repair our roads. We have to scrunt for money to do this and to do that when we are wasting millions of dollars a year. I am sure that we can find millions, over $10 million in wastage in government that can go towards the development of the people of this country. Half of the legal cases that you're seeing should not be. Half of the lawyers that you guys are hiring to do stuff for y'all should send them home. That will save government a lot of money. There are some services that are being duplicated. There are some services that don't even make sense. If you need an ID card, you got to run over to the NIS, then come back over, and then go back and pay something. Imagine you cannot go into one government service, and that service makes a phone call or goes on the computer and pull up whatever documents from over at NIS or over the other place, and you get all the service you need. They have you running like yo-yo, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Sit down under a tent, back and forth, duplicated work. So you're paying 10 agencies to do one thing that one agency can do. There's fax, there is emails, that type of network within government. And I heard that they're trying to enhance the IT of government, which is needed. Because if I go to get my ID, I mean, the ID company, the ID department should be able to have a link with the NIS. Why you send me over there to get a paper that they can send to you through email? Or you can just go on a software and pull it up? Why are you selling me over there to sit for hours? And why am I speaking like this? I went to get my ID. Because years I have not had a St. Lucian ID. So I went to get my ID on Friday. And I spent a long time sweating at the NIS building on their tent. Then you go in and only 2 tellers operating. 2 tellers operating. Two tellers. You go to the bank, same thing. 2 tellers. And the tellers take forever. One transaction, maybe to change some US or some pounds, it takes forever. Everything takes forever. Even the ATM, that should be more convenient. Everything takes forever in this country. Then you go over to the ID place, they say to you, run back over to NIS. NIS say to you, why they send you over here? Go back to them. They go, you go back over there, tell you, go back over there. And then you go back over and they say, oh, sorry, you can use this document. People are treated. I see elderly sitting down on the hot tent trying to get something. You go to get a barrel or some shipment at customs. They have you standing outside on their tent. Not even a seat. That's how taxpayers are being treated in this country. While the workers are in air condition, the workers and the hierarchies and the bourgeois in government sits in air condition on seats, and you, the taxpayers, are standing outside a tent to get a barrel. Whether you're old or young. Not even a seat. Not even a seat. Any one of you try to go get a barrel. Yes, I was treated very good by customs. Yes, I must say, beautiful. But when I look around, I see people standing up on the hot tent. And you have 2 girls in a small little office. Small little office with air conditioning. And you go in there squeezing up in the place. Like you in the Flintstone era. Squeezing up. It's a shame. The development of this country is behind. And the people are being treated with contempt. The people are being treated like subjects. And nobody has the gall to speak up. And when you speak up, you are being treated like you are the state enemy. And all you're doing is speaking on behalf of those who cannot speak. I know I am speaking for thousands of St. Lucians. I now know that. I now know that. And that's the truth. There are those who want to speak up. Some are afraid. Some say, I can't speak English properly. Or, Masafea Moshai. But the Lord have placed that burden on me to speak on their behalf. And these are the issues that they're concerned about. These are the issues. A Dennery cemetery without a mixer, a concrete mixer. Men got to labor with shovels in 2023. And at government ministers' home, there are 3 and 4 mixers because they are constantly building, whether it's swimming pool or second floor or third floor, they are constantly building at their homes, and the government mixers sometimes end up at their homes. While you, the lower grade government workers, have to be in a cemetery slaving yourselves, when all you have to do is turn on a power tool and mix your cement and get the people out of the cemetery as early as possible. You think you can't have 2 and 3 burials in Dennery one time? But we are allowing our people to work harder and harder while politicians get it easier and easier and easier and easier. We give them a permanent secretary, we give them a secretary, we give them a public relations, we give them a liaison officer, we give them all kind of officers, one government minister. But you, the people of St. Lucia, you got to stand at customs in the hot sun. Not even a fountain for you to get water from in a glass. Not even a seat for you to sit on. That's how you're being treated. You try to get your passport. And then you will understand what I'm speaking to you about. And what we do is attack each other. And you United Workers' Party people, sometimes I'm trying to figure you out. You keep attacking yourself over and over and over and over again. Why do you do that? Are you possessed? Can't you not see that there are bigger subjects that need to be discussed in this country? Can you not see that? Look, we're having issue with lands and all kind of nonsense. Can you not see that there are bigger issues in our society? Journalists are a bunch of lazy brats. Go on social media and take people's work and embrace it as theirs. They have no journalists walking around during weekends in communities to see what is happening. Journalists, they work from 8 to 4, whatever it is, or 8 to 3, and then they're gone. Gone are the days where you have journalists all in communities, whether it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever time, they're there. They're not reporting anything to you until Monday. In this country, you have no breaking news. None. News got to wait until Monday to break. Don't you see what is happening in our country? Don't you see? Can you not see? But no, you come for me. You come for the man who is trying to make a difference, trying to help you in your country. You come after those who are speaking on your behalf. How ignorant can we be? Don't you have eyes to see? Do you need eye salves? Do you need your eyes washed? Or your brain conditioned? You go try, and I pray in God to keep me healthy right here in St. Lucia, because it's a scary thing to go to any hospital with issues that can't be fixed, and you end up staying there for months because things just get bad on you. You understand what I'm saying? Some of you understand what I'm saying, because some of you have experienced it. You get more sick because of the process of waiting. And then you go there and they say to you, you have to go to some private place to either get medication or private place to get tests. Those tests are not in government services. And you are arguing and cussing each other off, and you don't even have proper health care. Why should you go to a hospital and the hospital is telling you you have to go to a private place? What? You have the hospital just to put Band-Aid, and by the way, not even Band-Aid sometimes you can find. Huh? The funeral home seems to be the best thing here in St. Lucia. So maybe the government should go into funeral homes now. It would make sense. Well, that in itself would have a problem at some point. I don't understand, folks, but it is time for us to demand better. Refocus. Refocus. And let me say to some of you, if I decide by the grace of God, that I want to run, there is nothing stopping me or anyone. I'm going to say that again. If I decide that I want to run for any seat, it's my democratic right as a citizen. It is not an individual overseas determined decision to make. And some people need to stay out of some of these seats in the different communities. If you are not from that community, stay the hell out of people's business. Because we are encouraging people to get involved. Persons with ideas, persons with the drive, persons who want to work on behalf of the people. That's what we're encouraging. This ain't no dictatorship. So I will say it again. If I decide to make that run, I do not need any approval from some of you political hacks. None whatsoever. I will follow the process. And if the process says to me, sit down and drink water, then that I will do. But you, my friend, you are not that process. This party belongs to the supporters of the United Workers' Party, not to individuals. This is the People's Party. It is the United People's Party. It is not your mommy shop. It is not your cosmetic shop. It is not your personal playing ground. And therefore, we got to draw those lines. And I'll say to you, I'm not afraid of any dictator. I'm not afraid of any bully. No, I'm not. And don't take my quietness and my Jesus-ness most of the times for granted. Because I have taken a lot of personal attacks from you. I have said nothing. Nothing at all. I have taken the blows. I have turned, and you keep coming relentlessly. You make all those phone calls, believing that people don't know that you're making those phone calls. But I will say to you that you are not God. And I say that God is God. And that's why I made a statement on Sky FM, that I am not too concerned about man. I'm concerned about God. Because if he wants me to go, he will say go. And he will open the way for me to go. And he will quench the fiery darts of the enemy for me to go. And he will open the Red Sea that I can walk on dry land, if that's his will. So therefore, let man be settled in the dust. And let man understand, oh man, understand who you are, understand who we are, that there's a higher power. And he still take part in the affairs of this life. And he still sets up kings and take them down. So don't think that you're a bully. God have a serious way in bringing bullies to their knees. And like I said earlier, there's a lot of you folks who believe that you are so powerful that it has gotten you to the point where you believe that you are the pit bull of this society. But God has a way of vindicating his servants, of vindicating himself among the nations. So I would say it's better you humble yourself. Because if you don't, God will do it for you. And it is a fearful thing to be humbled by him. Therefore, I choose to humble myself and understand who I am. Therefore, I boast not of anything. And therefore, I am not presumptuous to outdo the grace of God, so that grace may abound. Therefore, I will say to you, humble yourself. Stay out of my way. If you don't, I guarantee you that God will move you out. Oh yes, it's guaranteed. He has done it before. And he will do it again. So watch your mouth. Watch those phone calls. Because I will say to you, you will see the hand of God working in such a way that you will be confused. Oh yes, our God is powerful like that. So watch your mouth. Fall in line. Know your place. Stick to what you know. And stay out of the path of those who want to serve this nation. And that's all I can say on that. That's all I can say about that, folks. And I thought about it carefully, you know. I thought about it carefully. And I said, wow, this person is making themselves to be some type of God. That they can say, you, yes, you, no, you, yes, you, no. No, there's a process. For those of you who don't know, in the United Workers' Party, there is a clean process, and that's why I love it. A clean process of the party, the structure. If you want to run, there is a process. Now, for instance, if there's 5 of you wanting to run the seat, there is a process that will see itself through. The sad thing about it is when that process, when we go through that process, and one person who wanted to run, they don't get the opportunity to run, they back out and start sowing discord and disunity. When what they need to do, if they're serious about nation building, that whoever is selected, then they join. Because you are still united and strong. Yes. Your ambition must be settled in the will of God and the people. Yes. So if you are true about nation building, whoever candidate is selected, you jump in line and you push that person. You push that person. And you say, I got your back. Let's go. I had my ideas. You had your ideas. We will work together on all these ideas. Because what? We are one. But oh sinner, some of you don't understand that, you see, because you are selfish and self-centered. And it is all about you. And not about the building up of a nation, a society. And that's why I understand my role. Man don't decide my role. God decides it. God, not man. God decides your role too. Because we are mortal, man. God can put us to sleep at any time, you know. Some of you talk about God, but you are godless. Oh, yes. Some of you can quote scriptures and you can do those nice things that make you feel and sound like a Christian. But God will not be mocked. And he will continue to be God. But I can tell you this, that there's a storm coming that's relentless in his fury. And all that will be shaken will be shaken. That's one thing I am sure of. That in these last days, as God is about to put his appearance, yes, government must continue. Government will continue until Christ comes. Therefore, I will say to you, let righteousness prevail in our hearts so that it can be reflected in our society. There is too much unrighteousness. Our poor people are being abused and victimized. I heard of women and men who were once working and they were thrown off of their jobs because a government comes into power. If that's what the United Workers' Party does, that needs to stop. Yes, there are certain positions that you got to clean up quickly to send that signal that this is the people's country, not your party country. And that's the truth. There are some persons that you will have to move, but I don't think you should fire them. Move them into different positions. Yes, you got to do what you got to do, but what you cannot do is because someone is a labor, you throw them out of a job. And the entire family suffers. They are still St. Lucians, whether they're SLP, UWP, or they do not vote. They are St. Lucians and deserve to eat. But there are some who try to slow down the hands of government because they're hacks. Some civil servants are hacks. We see it now. Some of them slow down the hands of government, road implementation of projects. They slow down the implementation of these projects. And thank God for Alan Shastney, who the last time had to bully his way to get certain projects off, and also Mr. Guy. Because they try to slow it down for their own advantage. That must be studied prayerfully and dealt with prayerfully, because you do not want to put any family on the breadline. Some of them have had commitments with the banks, commitments with schools for their children. We got to think deeply when we're acting. And that's the truth, folks. It is the truth. So we got to be cautious right now. And it's the truth. You have a whole set of United Workers' Party supporters who are not working. Why? Because a government came into power. So in other words, not a government comes into power when some party gets into power, you know. It is a political machine that comes into power, really. So they bring in all their people. And they throw out all, like, they're not St. Lucians and we are St. Lucians. Huh? That should not be the way government work. And you, the people, got to demand that it happen differently. You have the power. You know, you have the power. Like my friend Landor said to me, he is the attaché for the representative here in Dennery. He said to me, Garfield, I will never be a United Workers Party again. I'm not full labor. And the United Workers Party will never win once I'm in Dennery. I said, okay, no problem. Why? Why I said no problem? Because he sounds like God. But God have a way of moving things and people. And he have a way of putting whales and big fishes in the way to get us where he wants us to get. But God is God. Some of you can jump high, jump low. God is God, and he will continue to be God, and he will continue to look over the nations of this world. But what he does not like is injustice against the poor. And that's what we see in this country. The poor man having no voice, having to stand outside of institutions. When they go in, they're being bullied, shouted at, treated like little children. Imagine big adult people go for services in government, in some government institutions, and they're being treated like little children. Yes, please. No. Why you coming? Why you coming? Why? I tell you already. Don't come. And that's how they speak to the people. Those persons must be sent home or sent for some psychological evaluation, because you cannot speak to people like that. Period. All persons need to be respected. And I said to you, I respect the very zombie. Trust me. I went to the football field. I think Castries and some other places were playing in Dennery. So I went to be with the guys. And, you know, I had my conversations. Then when I look across, I saw, I forgot her name. She's normally on the street here in Dennery. She's all over. And right there, I knew I had to buy her something to eat. I had a phone call. I finished the phone call. I went to the vendor. I said, give her something to eat. And she gave her. She sat. She ate. Moi di femme là juste belche fi jay moi brak like feed my. It's okay. She's not normal. We move on. Next person. The other thing is that you cannot have a football field without benches. You have people standing up all day watching football in Dennery. These are the things that we need to talk about, okay? So we got to be more mindful of what we do. But I'm saying to you, I have not made any decision as yet. I spoke about my desire, and God is the one that will fulfill that desire. But I have met a lot of persons here in Dennery, spoken to a lot of people, and I believe I have a contribution to make here in this community. And by the grace of God, He will make a way. If a way must be made, He's the one to do it. So I say to everybody, be calm in your spirit. You are one there's one aim, one objective. And that must be realized. And for those who are saying, oh, go preach. That's all you have to do, preach. And shut up. Don't say nothing. Those same people, when they go to government service, they're cussing off the tellers. They ain't preaching, you know. They're cussing off the tellers. Don't give them some service, government service, to see how Christian they are. So, in other words, what they're saying to you is that all these government workers, all these politicians who are Christian around the world, and true Christian around the world, they ain't Christian. Only those of us who sit down in church every Saturday or Sunday, we are the only Christians. But once you work for government or you're in government, you're not a Christian. I have never heard such careless ignorance in my entire life. I have never heard it. And it is time for us to grow out of that type of ignorance. It is ignorance to the highest level. Ignorance. So, if you are a Christian, you cannot be a lawyer, you cannot be a politician, you cannot speak on political issues, you cannot, you just got to pay taxes, go to church, pay tithe, and shut up, drive on bad roads, experience bad services, no retirement plans, nothing, just, you're going to heaven tonight. Nothing to see here. Don't get involved. Jesus coming tomorrow. Huh? When your house burned down, you will go and look for the district rep. When hurricane come, the district rep. You never voted for him. Hypocrisy. You never voted for him, one. You are not concerned about social issues in your community, two. But when it drops at your home, then you call for government to act. Huh? That's hypocrisy, and to me that is just downright evil and selfish. So I'm saying to all those Christians who are on the sideline, who do not exercise their franchise, that the Constitution affords them. And when things go bad, they grumble. They're talking, they're under their trees, they're talking, they don't want to talk, they don't want to look like a hypocrite, so they don't talk, they whisper. Me bagay la cause yo. Scribe and Pharisees. What you should be doing is praying for me that the Lord will control my mouth so that what I speak would be life. What I speak would be a helping word to help some unfortunate person in the society. You should be praying for me, not doing what you're doing. Self-righteousness is a dangerous thing. When you're gossiping, all is well. I prefer to speak on political matters than to be in this gossip thing that I see some of you doing as Christians. The hatred and bitterness that you have, the unforgiveness in your heart. The person that I called a pig yesterday, I already forget that person, Oh, yes. When Jesus said you are your father, the devil, move on. Sometimes you have to rebuke the devil. I need to start walking with my water and my oil and just throw it on some people. Because demonic activity is all over them. When people just sprinkle you in the name of Jesus. Now, if I'm because of Pentecostal, that's breathe for legs. Yes, so pray for me. Because we need voices, we need Christian voices. And guess what? Yesterday, the event that we had, it was an event between the government, collaboration between the government, the Adventist Church, and other social partners. Mr. King was there, the commissioner was there, political people was there, and she sat in a political religious event and had no problems with it. And she sat there, listened to all the politicians, and I suspect because they're SLP, and by the way, you Christian people, you got to be careful the games that you play. Most of you have problems with me. You have problems with me because I am not speaking on your party's behalf. I realized that. Oh, yes, I found out. I found out that majority of you who are in opposition to me and you're Christian, you are dead red SLPs. So that's why I am not moved by your hypocrisy. I know you, I know your works, I know who you are. Once you speak a certain way to me, I know. Because if I was on your side speaking, I would have been the best. You would not even question my degree. I would be the best thing ever. You guys would have been in your tens of thousands on this platform. So I know who you are. I'm not moved by you all. Coming like you love the Lord so much and you're going to heaven. Go and preach the gospel. Même pas push the gospel. Ou la ka voler, ou la ka mati, ou la ka pwe nan moun, ou ka fait tout kal de bêtises. Ma fè se bagay sa, ou sav. All I do is stand and speak on the side of people. And I mean well, by the grace of God. And thank God that you are not the one who give reward. It is God who gives reward, and just reward to his people. And you know why many of you will be lost? Or us, rather, because the possibility is there that I can do all this and be lost. You know what is going to happen to you all? Some of you will run to Jesus when he comes and say, Father, I used to be in prison. Father, I used to keep the Sabbath. I took communion. I baptized in the Catholic Church. I get sprinkled. I used to talk in tongues, blah, blah, blah. And I used to be at church 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. And you know what he's going to say to you? Guess what? Get away from me, you wicked people. I was hungry in Dennery on the street. You did not petition government on my behalf. I was in prison. You did not speak on my behalf. I was that senior citizen watching the ceiling dying. You did not speak on my behalf. I was hungry. You didn't feed me. I was friendless. You were not my friend. I was naked. You did not give me food. And he's going to say, bunch of hypocrites, get away from me. fire is your portion. So I understand salvation and I understand my responsibility as a Christian. And that is to petition on behalf of the underdogs, the poor, the needy in society, the zombies that you walk over. Those are my people. Young people that I can identify with in this community. They are my people. Not you, hypocrite. You are already in heaven while you're gossiping and lying. You in the church whispering. You see me come in, you're whispering, gossiping right in the church with communion bread in your hand. So I understand. I understand you and I understand me. It's easy for us to be hypocrites and self-righteous. But he's going to say, depart from me, I never knew you. You can keep all Sabbaths in the world. And some of you keeping Sabbath and you're hating people. You're bitter against your enemies. Some of you don't talk to your neighbors. You don't talk to your own families. You're gossiping on your own families. But you want to come and tell me that speaking about political matters, I'm going to hell. People, thank God that he said to work out your own salvation in fear and trembling. I am no hypocrite. I don't hide to talk politics behind the church. I don't hide to talk politics behind no tree or hiding behind walls to speak politics. No, I'm not a hypocrite. And that's why you can't stand me. Oh yes, I got you. You prefer me to be behind whispering with you. Shasne pabo, shasne pabo, shasne se avole, guys avole. That's what you want me to do. Bunch of hypocrites. Condemning your own brethren to hell. So, folks, I hope you bear with me tonight because I am actually tired of the deceitful attitude in us. And as I said earlier, folks, the whole idea of bringing people's children into this debate, we should stop it. Please, I beg you, stop it. What I can tell you is that for me, I am careful in what I say even more than ever and who I say it to. I'm very careful and mindful. Very careful and mindful that even among our people, that there are those who are not in for your common good. So I understand that. But I'm saying I wanted to register on social media in this time and this moment that I am standing up against bullying of any mentally challenged person or child. I am also standing up against the bullying of our women, our sisters into the society. Some of our sisters have been raped, and many of you know about those rapes, and you say nothing about it. Nothing at all. You cover it up. These women are hurting still. Huh? Oh yes. I've had a number of cases that I came across. Number of cases. It's not nice. If a woman said to you, man, she don't want you, leave her alone. And I told you what I saw in Castries. An elderly man with a marriage ring on his finger, which means that he's married. A girl passed in a tight piece of leggings with a little thong in her skin. And this man started, like his mouth was dripping water. It's like you see a nice meal. And the man started bending. I am saying, folks, you have a wife at home, and he's not the only man, you know, in the society that does that. Politicians too, they have their wives, they have women in each of these communities. Power corrupts. And that's why some of us got to be very careful as persons elevate us to certain status in this great work that we're about to do. We got to be mindful and be humble. Because the same God by the way, Satan sets up people too, because Satan will send all them women to you. And you know what's going to happen? He will expose you. He's going to put somebody with a camera to spot you. Some of you have been spotted. He's going to make that girl get pregnant deliberately, whether she have a womb or not, whether she can make pick me or not. He will make her get pregnant just to bring you down. He will set you up and he will drop you very hard. So you politicians got to learn humility and humbleness. You have to respect your wives. Stay home. Eat at home. Eat at home. The best meals are home cooked meals. The safest meals are home cooked meals. When I say home cooked meals, I'm saying your wife. Some of you like too much women, jabbers, and those. That will be a downfall. You know why? Because some of us men have never learned anything about history. The greatest men of this world were brought down by women. The greatest politicians in this world, kings, rulers, were brought down by a woman. So those of you who are having sexual encounters outside of marriage, politicians, you are no example to our society. You should not even be paid by taxpayers' money, as far as I'm concerned. I am not perfect, but I'm saying that what you will not find is any woman pointing fingers at me right now and say that they caught me. I'm in St. Lucia, my wife is in the States. I'm not tempted to go anywhere with anybody. Nope. And if I go anywhere, I'm putting my camera on. That's how protective I am about me. Huh? Yes. So I hope that you learn that lesson that, leave the sisters alone. Don't spoil our sisters. Leave them alone. They are somebody else's wives for the future. Treat them with kind regards, with respect. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to read. We're going to read some of the comments later on. But I'm saying, friends, there's a lot of work to be done in the country, and we can do it together. And what you need to is, you need both parties talking to each other, but not what we see now. We got to tone it down. Yes, my conviction and my belief is that the United Workers' Party, they're on good grounds so far. There are one or two mishaps, but let us not draw too much attention onto ourselves unnecessarily. Let us be strategic in our approach, in our messaging, in our approach towards certain issues in the society. We want to be very cautious there. Why am I saying this? Because you also have Christian voters in this country. Christian voters are very funny voters. Many of them would not go out to vote. Yes, I've spoken to a number of them. There are a lot of them, they will not go out to vote that easy. And if we continue just thinking about ourselves, those who like the attack, they like when you go after and you make way and you talk, and they like those things. There are some people who like it, but not all. There's a large group of independent voters who they do not like the nastiness. The hacks will say, yeah man, beat them down. But you see an independent voter and a Christian voter, they're almost the same. Yes, among those independent voters and Christian voters, you have a lot of persons who are hardcore labor, especially in Dennery. Let's speak about Dennery, for instance. In Dennery, the majority of folks in certain areas, pockets in Dennery, you know that they're labor. They're Christians, they're Seventh-day Adventists, they're Pentecostals. They are hardcore Labour Party supporters. And then you have another pocket that are United Workers' Party supporter. But what you have among them is independent voters. They more deal with the issues. They more take their time and they assess and sometimes they make the decision on their way to the polls. The hacks, they make their position, they make their decision even before election is called. You know that, right? But what you want to target is those independent voters and the Christian voters who do not want to be caught up in the mess. They don't want that. So what you want to do is to tone it down. Tone it down, and we have a more educated group of people, voters for the next elections, I can tell you that. Even though some of those hacks, they're being softened and they look at issues. Majority of the hacks, by the way, will vote on pocket issues. When you push their hands in their pocket and there's that hole, they will say, but wait a minute, I have nothing. Some of them will have a little $500 because some politician will pay them anyway. So when they push that in their pocket, they will come up with a little $500, but that's all. Some of them will vote on that, but there are a large group that will, this time as we continue with this educational process, and thank God that some of us are on the scenes, then they would, they will look at issues and they will vote. But I can tell you, a lot of them don't like the back and forth, cussing off, the F-nose, the nasty words that are being used, the children being pulled in to some of those discussions. They would not appreciate that. I can tell you that. The educated voters and the Christian voters, independent voters, they would not accept that at all. These are professionals. They would not do it. All right? We must be able to meet those professional voters, attract them to the United Workers' Party. You should be able to do that. But what I can say to you, you will not do it the way we are going. We'll have to slow down. We will have to turn the ship. We'll have to tilt the ship to meet them. And when we meet them, it must not be done because you want their votes. It must be done because you are a decent party. I'm going to say it again. It must be done because you are a decent party and not because you just want to pick them up and give them a ride. It must be done again to represent that shift in the party towards a more civil discussion where the issue is what we deal with and not personality. Because most of us who are speaking about people, by the way, we have a lot of crap in our closets that we have not confessed. We have a lot of things in our past, whether it was raped, abused, voler, whatever it is, thief people land, thief people goat. Some of you have killed people, goat and sheep. You haven't repented of it. Ou vole kabwit se mouna. Ou vole moto se mouna. Bef se mouna. Some of you are bef molesters. You are children molesters. You are tree molesters. You are everything molesters. So if we dig deep in our closet, we can find something there. So that's why it is always safe to stay on the issues. Because most of the times when you attack somebody personally, then they will start digging in your closet, and I'm sure once they dig, they will find. The only closet you all can't find nothing is in mine. That's funny, right? No, but all of us have sinned and come short. But I confess my sins very quickly and openly. I don't hide with anything I do. Sometimes, what can I say? What can I confess to you guys? What do you know that I don't know about me? People don't understand me. People are confused about me. Very confused, I'm naive, that's the truth. That's one thing I will admit. My friend always said that to me. You are so dangerously naive that you will talk to somebody who hates you with a smile, with a laugh. And you will treat them like, you will make them so comfortable that they will be so confused that, wait a minute, but that's the guy that I don't like. But I'm talking to him. That's the guy. And it's true, that's my problem. Because that's the way I was brought up. That's the way that's how we, honestly, the truth with us is that, with me, is that I was not just brought up in the world as, we were brought up, I was born in the Adventist church. And there's a lot of things that we were restricted in doing that I cannot do even up to this day. I have to learn to do it. And that's why sometimes when I look at myself in the mirror, I look back at some of the lives, then I say to myself, why did you say that? Why did you do that? How did you get there? And so I correct myself ever so often. I always go back. My daughter would say to me, why are you watching those videos over and over of yourself? I said, no, I'm not watching myself. I'm just trying to listen for the errors, to see where I have failed, where I have damaged somebody's reputation, and how it can be corrected quickly, swiftly. That's how I think. But I'm very calculative. I will tell you that. I'm very slow to anger. All right? I'm very slow to anger, and some people can attest to that. Okay, but it's not about me. I don't want to talk about me. I just want to say to you that we have enough things in our lives that we're not proud of. All right? That maybe it's a divorce, maybe you'll be cheating, maybe you're not putting in enough hours on the job, you're robbing your people. Maybe you're just a damn hypocrite and you don't care about it. You don't care of anything. You're just selfish. It's all about you. Huh? Yes, so different types of stuff. So we're going to read some of the comments, you know. We're going to read some of the comments now, and then we will say goodnight. If you all want to stay along, it's up to you all. I don't know if the phone line is working, but you can try the WhatsApp thing if you want to call the number. I can't remember the number from my head. The truth is, right, the number for Caribbean American News, I have it written in front of me when I'm home in the studio. So that's why I don't have too good memory. But let's just read some of the comments and see how we can let's have a little fun, Let's go to this screen. Now you'll see me not watching over there, I'm watching the monitor, which is my phone. Let me see if I can start from the bottom, go up. So my friend Lydia Francis, that's St. Lucia for you. They love what's good. Oh, yes, Lydia. And by the way, some of you can start supporting Caribbean American News with stars. It's a feature that Facebook have just approved for us on the platform. It helps with the subscriptions. We pay a lot of subscriptions to maintain our stream. A lot of subscriptions from Google to other software and other things that we need, editing softwares for this platform. So if you can go there and send stars, 200 stars is $2. Just do it. We'll really appreciate it. And at the end, you will see the count of the amount of stars on the platform that we receive. All right, so let's continue. Rachel Smith, my friend from Denver. By the way, I bet your mom yesterday, she gave me 2 nice little hugs. Mama. When they love you, man. She was there when I was getting abused, but she's a good lady. She stayed out of that fire. Rachel, the more you stay with Jesus is the more you love others, even if you know they don't love you. And that is true. That is true. And my friend Teresa says, you are loved. Thank you so much for your love, my friends. I've received so many calls and support, with my visit here, and I really appreciate it. There's a lot of love and everything else. It's just 1 or 2 hacks, But amidst that, everybody has been very nice to me. Even my United Workers' Party supporters. So let's go on. Georgia, good night, Brother Garfield. Hey, Sasha, good. Sasha, I'm going to call you tomorrow. We need to meet up. I have some stuff for you. Rachel Smith, they will vote for $100. That's it. Very sad. That's true. Some people will vote for money. And I see, that's why I want to reach those zombies and drunkards, those people who drinks a lot and have no control. I want to meet with them, because they're being used by politicians too. Yes, they're being used. Yes, I found that out. So we have a mission cut out there. Maria, well, a lot of them are hypocrites too, I know that. Rachel, I voted Jesus. Amen. I have settled my account with Jesus many years ago, Rachel. Rachel says she don't vote. Because there's no perfect government. Okay. Rachel, you're fired up tonight. There are no examples for the young people. Let's keep going. The so-called Christians, they're everywhere. Majority of us are going to be lost. Well, it's predicted. Maria, I support you on that, Pastor Garfield. Thank you, my friend. Okay, somebody says, let the man speak. Okay, good. I'll figure out who is writing there. I think she replied to somebody. Rachel. Let's go. Gossip. Oh, my doctor Fletcher's there. My queen. Why are you wasting your time on this? You are not the first SDA. Three before you. So move on. Why are you wasting your time on this? You are not the first SDA. Three before you. Move on. Dr. Fletcher. Okay, Martina. Good evening. Good evening to you, my friends. Okay, Dr. Fletcher. So what about Joachim? Well, Joachim is the best Adventist. That's why they don't say nothing about him, the labor. Funny, right? Why they don't ask him to go work in church, or you Baltus, when he was in government, both sides, or even our guy, they don't there because Guy would send them to repent. Dr. Fletcher, that was funny. Rachel, don't like the truth. They're going to be a whole churches at a loss. Yes, Maria. Yes, tell them as it is. Yes. Yeah. Let's move on. Maria says, I love Pastor Garfield. I love you too, my friend. Yes. Lucita, Pastor Oliver, soon they will give you a warning too. Oh no, I honestly I avoid getting all these warning because I stay on the issues and I try to avoid going personal with anybody or discussing things that I don't know about. I'm very careful. I do not want to have to deal with anyone, waste my time running into courts and those kind of things. So I stay away from certain things, all right? Good. Diana, talk to God, my brother. He will lead you to know what he wants for you. My prayer is with you. Thank you, my friend. Yes. Hi, Shane. Celta, who say Christian go up for elections? Who say Christian can't? Shane, we need people like you in politics, especially in St. Lucia. All right. Thank you, my friend. Someone plead the blood of Jesus over you. Thank you, Maria. Wow, you're a prayer warrior. Dr. Fletcher, Jesus spoke of the politics in his time. So ignore those hypocrites. That's what Jesus calls them. Oh, yes. Dr. Fletcher, God wants more Christians to be involved in leadership. And I strongly believe that. The Bible says when the righteous rule, the people are glad. When the wicked rule, the people are sad. Mm-hmm. Yes. And Dr. Fletcher says you are St. Lucian. That's your right. We live in a democracy. And we are. I am a St. Lucian. Yes. Let's move up quickly. My sister works with the village council now. They put her on contract. The people that's involved, I hope you tie your waist because your day is coming. Be sure your sins will find you out. And that is so true. That is so true. Veronica, not right. Everybody mouth open. Exactly. All right, we're going through the comments quickly. Just trying to see. Dr. Fletcher agree with me. That's how the process is done. Yes. All right, so let's go down. I didn't see a lot of hacks. I might have to go over to the other system to see. Okay, Herman Branch says, I always support your membership in running forward with the United Works Party. Herman, thank you very much. Wow, thank you. Eva says it should be a crime to pay cash for votes. I think it is a criminal offense. I got to check out the. I got to check that out. I believe it is not right. Votes should not be for sale. And we saw videos in the last elections of SLP supporters handing out cash to the boys on the block for votes. All right. Okay, let me see here. I will always support. Good. Sorry, what you're going to see my hands going up. I'm heading over to the main screen. Marvin, the ticket monies, the people want it back. Pastor's a good man. Marvin, the tickets money, the people want it back. I don't know what that is. Um, Regis, you a good man, Pastor, but Marvin Charles is thief people. Okay, so that might have to deal. Oh boy, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is honestly. So honestly, I don't want. I want to stay away from that. I want to stay away from that. Ten generation will not change the behavior of the thinking of solutions. Yeah, we got to change our. Let me not go through much of the comment anymore because I see something leading there, and I don't really want to engage it. But let's continue to pray for each other, and please pray for me because it's a lot of decisions that got to be made, and I really want to do some work in Denry, whether I'm in or not. Right now, it is something that I am looking at. I really see the need to get some stuff done here. Um, Somebody asked me, what did I do for the young people on Sky FM? I did not address it because I don't understand the question, one, what have I done for the youth in this community? What I have done at some point in my life here is to be an example to the young people. I try my best by the grace of God. And what we can do as citizens is to do our best to be examples to the young people. So I would ask you, the person who called and asked that question, I would ask you, my friend, what have you done for the young people? All right? So it's a question that each of us must ask ourselves, what have we done or what are we doing for the young people when it comes to being an example? What have our government ministers done for these young people, apart from giving them fields and apart from giving them boots and balls and everything else? What have we done in Parliament for these young people when it comes to our behavior, our attitude? So for me, I've tried to live a Christian life in this country while I was here, and I worked with the youth department of the Denry Church a number of years, and that's what I have done for them. I try to be an example to them. So, I mean, that's a good start. But going forward, I'm not promising anything to any young people. I'm saying let's listen to them. Let's hear what they have to say. You understand what I'm saying? All right. Mervin, thank you for that 50 star. Thank you. You're the first person to provide stars to Caribbean American News on this new feature. Thank you very much. We will acknowledge it at some point. Really appreciate it. So, yes, we got to listen to the young people and sit down with pen and paper, listen to them, and help them to achieve some of the ideas that they have. Yeah, one thing you don't want to do is to promise young people stuff and you don't deliver it. I can tell you that. All right? So the best thing to do is to sit with them, form a relationship with them, and try to open avenues in which they can realize those dreams and vision they have for their community. All right? Don't sit down and tell them what they want. No. Let's have a conversation. Let's reason together. And there are some low-hanging fruit that we can implement immediately. But there are some that will take time in order to realize. All right? So we got to listen to the young people. Sit with them. Don't bluff them. And don't come to them like a bunch of hypocrites, self-righteous hypocrites. They can smell hypocrisy from afar. They know who we are. They know we are bluffers. They know we are bamboozling them. We are playing with their cervelle. They know that. So don't think this breed of young people you have now, they are so ignorant that you can sit and promise them gold. They know exactly. They know that you can't deliver nothing that you're telling them. So for me, I would let them come with the ideas and work with them. Walk hand in hand with them. Let them do what needs to be done in the community when it comes to youth development. All right? That's all I can say. But a word to the wise politician is sufficient. All right? Good. All right, we have Lisa, who just sent 100 stars. And Lisa, you're the second person. Actually, you're the second person who have donated so far to Caribbean American News. We appreciate that. May God's name be praised. Amen. But folks, I'm going to go now. Let me tell you the truth. I have some fish in the sink. I have some fish in the sink that I need to take care of. Plus, I am painting the side of my mother's house. It was looking terrible when I came. Ridiculous. I said, you know what, let me just buy some paint. And I started painting on Friday. Yes, I took like an hour or so. I started painting, so I got to finish it maybe, God's willing, tomorrow. And then I have to collect my ID, my new ID. Some of you say I'm not St. Lucians. Well, money ID, exopani ID. Where? Ma St. Lucian, me mohen ID mo. National ID. Half of you don't have it, right? Money somewhere. Where's Brother Anson? Ask him for his ID. Banning your muscle ID. All right? Money somewhere. Ukwe na my rice. Me Anson shop. But Brother Anson, you know, I met his mother today. She's 89 years old, and she prayed for me. Wow. That woman is strong. And guess what? I was sitting in the car outside, right? After the rain. Then I saw her walking up past the car. So I'm like, where is she going? So I asked him to call Shirley to come and see. Then Shirley came, and so we put her on the car. We put her on the car, and I took her home. And she was very grateful. She said the chairs were too hard. So she ended up having to go home. And the woman looked good. 89. Another year, 90. Reverend, I'm telling you, boy. And she's still in her right mind. She's reasoning good. You know, she moves around. Because she took her stick and she started walking. And wow. And she told me, I heard your name somewhere. I told her I cannot promise you that I won't hit your son Anson. She said, leave my son alone. I said, lady, I cannot promise you that. Once he say anything against my shas, Navin Puli, Uchekli, Mani Pies Mercy Alay. Where? So she told me, you better leave my son alone. But I love her. She's a beautiful lady. And also Sister Shirley. You know, I got to go see them before God's willing I leave. She prayed for me. She gave me her blessings. Ma by Anson P.S. blessings from that one. That one is mine. You know, I'm going to keep my blessings. That your blessings, boy. Where's a black killer? Wow, beautiful woman. And that's why I say, folks, we can attack the issues, but not people. So that's why I do not want Anson to attack Mrs. Shastney. Let's stick on the issues. And in so doing, we'll be able to do nation building, build our nation. And because all of us, I believe, have some good in us. Some of us have long family ties and relationship. Some of us are from good families. And some of them are not happy with sometimes what we do. You know? Some of us are not, they're not happy. You know? And so we are to, when we say things and do things, we are to remember our families, how they will feel. And we got to remember other people's family, how they would feel when we say negative things about their families. Like Shastney, folks have said a lot of stuff about Shastney. And most of the times it is not true. I'm not saying he's a perfect guy. No, no, no. I don't think he's that perfect guy. You know? But we got to be just mindful of people's family, their wives, their children, and stay away from people's wife and stay away from people's children. when it comes to dealing with social issues. But folks, I am happy that I was able to. And you see, we prayed over the internet, and the internet stayed. You think prayer messing around? And by the way, I got a call from overseas, and we will I will play that call for you when I get back, God's willing. Very important call concerning Denry and the Denry seat. Um, so I want to share it with you when it is sent over to us um, at the appropriate time. Okay, so brethren, stay positive and let us not, Mr. Shaston is not an issue. The issue is the underdevelopment in our society. Mr. Shaston is not the issue. He's the least of our problems. We have major problems. We have lands that are being compromised right now. We have a lot of issues under development. I should be at St. Jude sometime this week, and there's some places that I want to go. But to tell you the truth, I try to hold it back from you guys, but I have gotten tremendous support privately from certain individuals, certain set of persons. They do not want their names to be called right now, but tremendous support. And at the appropriate time, you will see a lot of projects, especially in Denry, for the development of the people. Even though there's a government in office, you're going to be seeing a lot of stuff being rolled out in the next year or so as we put together a plan to aid with the social transformation and development in this community. And I wish others in the other communities can start looking at ideas in helping people. Don't wait until election season to do things in these communities. There are homes that need to be built. There are galvanized that need to change. There is food that needs to be given. There's a lot of things that you and I can do right now to aid our community. Yes, your intention is to win their confidence and then win their votes, and that's the process really. Win their confidence and win their votes. But then you got to be so genuinely concerned about them that you do not wait during elections to go out there and do things. Let's do it now. Each of us can do something to help develop our communities. Each community have persons under this life who can identify areas where they can help. They can help. They can help. And I'll tell you, I have not forgotten the soup kitchen. Oh no, no, not at all. I believe I had a message somewhere in one of the phones for the lands that somebody wanted us to come and see. I got to go back and look for those communication because I'm here now. But we are still going to have that soup kitchen built. I have not forgotten about it. I'm still thinking about it, all right? And so I will tell you how we're going to build it because I can see the way forward now that that I have made the statement of me thinking of representing, being a representative or whatever it is, thinking. So I'm seeing something there. I'm seeing some light, but I will talk to you at the appropriate time about it because I don't want people to start making memes about it and start discouraging persons from what they're promising, what we need to do for the people of this country. All right? So blessings to you folks. I am going to go. And okay, so let me just, this one seems important. This person want me to look at it. Joseph Seeley, Pastor Garfield, did you hear that Mr. Shastner's father-in-law was attacked and beaten? Let's keep him in our prayers. Was that Mr. Shastner's father-in-law? Is it Raquel's father who was attacked? Was it, please confirm, was it Pastor, brother, sorry, was it Raquel's father who was attacked? And that's why I asked Mr. Anson to stop, kind of tone it down. I'm not saying to stop, but yes, it's confirmed, yes. Tone it down because People's family are being attacked. The Dibolays have served this country. They are St. Lucians. The Chasnays, the Dibolays, they have served the country. They have contributed to the country. And cool it out, Anson. Cool it out, what we say. I saw my other, not even my friend. There's some people I stopped calling my friend because really and truly, you can't be my friend and you're so ignorant and evil in your heart and so unstable in your heart. You know, I'm not saying I hate you, but I got to watch this friend thing and brother thing that I say, you know. I got to be very cautious there now because not all are brothers and not all make any sense to even you as an individual, your development, period. When it comes to my development, honestly, there are some persons who become non-entity to me. They're non-entity towards my development, my moving forward, my mindset. So I'm going to ask Mr. Anson, my friend, Brother Anson, to cool out. What we are doing is we are riling the people up, and sometimes what we are riling them up about, it is not even so. It's not even the case. I heard that other careless guy start attacking Miss Dibole, the Dibolays, Mr. Chastain's wife. And then we have this thing happening, this attack. So I would say we got to tone it down. Leave these innocent families out of the drama. Leave them out. For their safety's sake, I beg, leave them out of this thing. All right? Mr. Dibole, I have known the Dibolays. I used to go at the home in Castries for gun shooting, for training. Very nice guy. The guy's fun. The guys are fun. The Dibolays. Fun. Good guys. And I would go there to, when I was with Brings, to go and ensure that the gun works. I ensure that I can still shoot at the target. We used to be at the house there in Castries, bang, 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 shooting. You know? And so I know them. So let us be careful, folks, what we say about these people who have contributed to this country. And let us move forward. Let's move forward in building a better and a safer St. Lucia. That's what we need for all, a better and a safer St. Lucia. Let's see if we have any response from Mr. Ensign. Brother Garfield, come on, Brother Garfield. Let's get real here. Why are you insinuating that people are being attacked because of me? No, that's not what I said. I didn't say that people are being attacked because of you. I'm going to repeat it again for clarity. Let us be careful in the way we present our position in this political discourse. In other words, let us be mindful. Let us stay on the issues and not on the person. Let us be careful how we raise bait. Let's be careful how we speak on individuals in the nation. And anybody can look at my lives and you will see my pattern. You know, when I have to, I hit Mr. Pear at certain times, but I back it down. I don't just relentlessly go after the person. Mr. Richard Frederick, I do not go after him. I really don't. You know, if there's an issue, I speak about it nicely and I don't go at him personally. I don't want to follow the regular pattern of beating people. I gotta hit the issues as hard as I can like a hammer. But character-wise, persons, I try my best to not get there because two things can happen. I can besmirch the person's character. And I will tell you what that is. If I cannot prove in the court of law that somebody is a criminal, in the court of law that somebody is a criminal, then I have a problem. Period. So therefore, I have no document in my hands. to get on him, his character. I cannot go to the court and say I heard or I think or everybody knows. That don't stand in court. We can do it here on social media, but we cannot do it. Like for instance, somebody say, I'm a thief. Can they prove that in a court of law? No, they can't. No, they can't. So you understand what I'm saying? So you might be able to say certain things, but legally, if you and I can't back it up in a court of law, then as a social media commenter, I want to be extremely cautious. Because what I don't want to do is to pull my family through any difficult moments. I don't want to put myself through spending time in walking into court or getting a lawyer or taking loans to get monies to pay lawyers or asking anybody to raise funds for me for legal fees. I do not want to get to that point. That time I can use to evangelize, to tell someone about Jesus or to speak about social issues. So I'm very cautious there. So that's why I said to Brother Anson is be you know, be a little cautious. You're not too old to take advice from a young sheep like me, a young sheep like me. And by the way, I got the blessings of mom. So you got to listen to me a little more and be nice to me and my brother, Mr. Shastney. All right. So I love Mr. Shastney, as you know, and I pray for him. I pray for him daily that he succeed. I pray for his protection, the protection of his family, his children, his wife, and the entire his father and everybody else. Okay, and I will continue to do that. But let us be just cautious with the personal attacks on people and people's family. All right, we are passionate people. We love whoever we love, whatever we love. Let's love and love for real. All right. So let me see here. No, I would never do that. Not you. I said another friend. I said not a friend. I said somebody else, not you. All right, and I know what I'm talking about. I have the clips here. And sometimes you just make me get a little concerned, you know, when you start saying what I don't say. Anyway, folks, I have to go. Even my bald head starts stripping with the sun start roasting it like a breadfruit. Tanzam, why asked the breadfruit gas, and the breadfruit was big and and yellow. I put the breadfruit out on the thing in the sun. The breadfruit just turned soft. Nice roasting breadfruit I lose. So many people I got it. And I bought some sweet potato and all of them had worms. Every one of them. So I going back for my money. God's willing tomorrow. I going back for my sweet potato money because I have to cook some ground provisions. God's willing tomorrow because I got to be careful eating out now because Simona connect me. So when they put check out because you know what? Let's see if we can go somewhere to get good food. And you know we get good food only in Denry. Nah, man, we have some nice places. I got some food at the church, and that was good. It was nice food. I like the fish. The fish was nicely grilled with a garlic sauce or something on it. Mwah, beautiful. Budemo, honestly, my belly, folks, you don't want to see my belly. My belly is an embarrassment to all my clothes and to me. I look in the camera looking at my stomach. Now, people seeing this? My stomach, yes. I lie down getting some rest earlier today. When I look, I can't even see my toes. I look down, I looking for my toes. It gone, barely blocked my toes. So, it's horrible. You all have to give me medicine to fix this. Honestly, I cannot continue with this big belly. If I continue with this belly, I'll become like some politicians where I just can't do any work. I'm lazy. I'm not fixing the roads. No infrastructure work. I just eating government money. Honestly, Budemoto I go money for it's an hour. Honestly, I come here with my belly not too big. When I keep it like Budemoto pity. Have the shirts, the white shirts. So I remember. I got to ask Sister Shirley what medicine I can drink. Budesa ni pudesa no. Mwe Lipu, Molly Mall, good morning, good night. Miss Catherine, I ain't heard nothing from you. How are you? Eh. Catherine Charles, stop driving the community. I need to walk. Honestly, Moko Bashe PS Kotea. Drive to sell it. VMS money, drive to sell. But I can't walk because Lani Mun Kikave, mem. See na drive, so you try and yell them when I just pass the les zote you. But honestly, listen to me, I eat some. This morning I had like about 6 mangoes for breakfast. Then I took a glass of sorrel, not sorrel, a glass of Moby. Then I went to the church. Then they gave me a big plate of fish and salad and baked potatoes and a breadfruit pudding thing that was beautiful. And lentils. Egg. Do right now I'm more addicted. I addicted to food. So money puti come with vitma. Avo zok a cream with the blue whale. Your back cream a blue whale. It always me. The blue whale. Now could we tell me all over St. Lucian I running up and down. Yeah. Tam was I create blue whale. Masa même moi soulier moi. And the seat I have on JetBlue, I can't even fit in it. To put them work, I just shout a bagay la. Remember? Anyway, brethren, but we sorry about that attack on Mr. Shastney's father-in-law. What juice is? I had 2 soft drinks since I'm here. 2 soft drinks. It's natural juice I've been having. No, I lie. 3 soft drinks because I had one Saturday night. Let me confess my food. And then I had like 4, 5 wings, but not big wings, small wings, by a friend of mine there in Denry. Boy, what? I have to go to the barber to get my bald head fixed because my hair growing on only 2 sides. There, no 3 sides on the back. But I am going to go. We prayed on the live and the thing worked. The thing lasts. You all see that there? The power of prayer. C'est de moi c'est vieux malfité ek magie noire et magie blanc. You can try disturb internet là. Moi foutin yo morceau prayer ça. Hey, oh man, Augustine, Rachel. Drink young coconut water. It will make you go. Go where? I don't want to go nowhere. You tell me drink coconut water will make me go. I don't want to go. So you say my belly full of food still? Eh. Oh, you can see my tan? I got a tan. Yeah, man. Yes. Montreal in the house, Melvin. Hey, folks, I'm going to go. Maria, good night. Good night, everybody. You know, I want to say a special good night to the Rekai family. Good night to you. I believe you're somewhere on YouTube. I couldn't see the YouTube audience. But good night to you. My friend, nice seeing you. Oh, look, I can see some of them now. Good job. Is that YouTube? Boss lady. Yes, this is YouTube. Boss lady. Gloriana. Yes, my friend is there. Sylvia. Yes, Sylvia and her husband. Nice meeting you all. All right. Good night to you. Yes. Good night to you. And Paul, good night to you. And Jelly, good night, folks. Folks, time for you all to go to bed. Some of you need to go to school, work tomorrow. Some of you have your children. Moi later, moi. Y'all go to bed, and we'll be on tonight, tomorrow, God's willing. Keep your things charged because you don't know when I'm going to pop up and where I'm going to pop up. But I might pop up at one of your favorite restaurants by the airport. But my Mavila, nothing by the airport. Mm-mm. Remember by the airport. Bam, not me. Oh. Anyway, folks, let me go before my fish rotten on me. So night, night, night. You see, when I'm with you all, I don't want to go, and that's the truth. Because you all are really family. But Reverend, I'm telling you, the welcome here was tremendous. The love and support. There's just one person that I really didn't appreciate the approach. Munsa mem nipu convert. That person need to be converted. That's the issue there, conversion. All right. So, folks, see you and blessings, 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 blessings. All right. Good. See you all. The night is night and cool, cool, cool. But mosquitoes, I have a problem with mosquitoes. Um, all my hands bumps. All my hands bumps. Yeah. I forgot to put the thing in my bag for the. I have a special thing that I use on the mission field for mosquitoes, and I forgot it in New York, and the mosquitoes are eating me alive. Anyway, folks, see y'all. Goodbye. We are leaving now for real. Wait, before I leave, let me just look at my YouTube, Reverend. I always have to check over there. Oh, there was a lot of Earl Lewis. I saw Earl Lewis for the first time at the convention. Congratulations to you, sir. Congratulations. And folks, I promise you we'll have clean conversations over here. We will not stray and start giving people all kind of mape and them kind of things. We'll stay away from that. All right, so good night, folks, and blessings to you signing out. Love you all. Yeah.